Okay, thought I'd mess around here. From what I've looked into powder, only out of boredom and when I can't sleep, I was poking around why we always seem to be short on certain powders. And I realized there's not much made here in the United States. From what I gather, the only powder made in the United States is ball powder, like BLC2, made in the USA. Hodgdon's. Winchester ball, $2.96. And ball powder is a registered trademark of Winston or Olin Corporation. And Hodgdon's licensed the Winchester brand. So I'm sure whenever that's not cost efficient anymore, they'll drop even more Winchester powders. They don't carry as many as they used to. Not that I used it, but I just noticed that. Let's see, you got, oh. And then you have Accurate, which from what I understand is made by General Dynamics. Is that the right place? In Canada, made in Canada. This is 5744, very bulky powder. I think it's General Dynamics. And then Alliant powder, Unique. Unique, surprisingly, is made in the USA. I'm not even sure what Unique is. Is Unique a ball powder? I don't know. It's kind of bally looking. More might be flaky looking. I don't know. I don't use Unique. I bought it. I tried it. I'm going to be playing with it in 45 just to get rid of it. But I found it to be too smoky, too dirty. And then you have this stuff. Pretty much know where all this stuff is made. By the way, this stuff, I like this stuff. It's just expensive, but it works good, especially in some 30 cal rifle loads. That's what I was using with my Swiss K31 with the 110 grain bullets. Worked really good. And then we have Accurate 4064, which again, made in Canada. And it's another ball powder. A lot of ball powders. Alright, what else do we have different here? This is made in Australia. Made in Australia, packed in the USA. So IRMR gets this, you know, by the train load and then puts it in the bottles. $2.96 we already know. What about tack? Ramshot tack. This stuff works pretty good in 223. And this stuff is made in Belgium, which I think a lot of Western powders makes tack and a couple others. I think a lot of this stuff is made in Belgium, but I think they did make a switch and they're now using a Czechoslovakian company or something like that. AR Comp, I have no idea. I tried this, but this stuff is made in Sweden. It seems to be okay, but I could not get any consistent groups out of it on my AR. I might revisit that now that I have much better guns and much better bullets. And this one is made in Australia, which is Trail Boss, which you could not find Trail Boss, I'm going to say about 8-10 years ago. You could not find Trail Boss to save your life. Even before any shortages or even after the shortages. So it was probably just not a production run. And International Clays, shot a lot of this with my trap loads. And then I just started buying regular clays because it's that much cheaper. And this stuff is made in Australia. Again, Hodgson seems to have a lot of stuff made in Australia, and I believe that's ABI. And then there's good old 48.95, made in Australia, packaged in the USA. And there's just not a heck of a lot of powder made here. And from what I understand, there's only 2 plants. There's one in Florida and in the Radford plant, and they only make ball powders, or the flake shotgun powders. There's another one made in Australia, Varget. That's just pretty much all I got, I think. I might have a few others kicking around. Not much. I got Reloaded 15, which is a Swedish powder. I like Reloaded 15, but again, it was hard to get. Every time I ran out, I couldn't get it. So I basically ended up buying Varget NH 48.95, which I use for so much stuff. That's why these are in 8-pound jugs. That's why a lot of this is 1-pounders. I bought it to try. CCI primers I use a lot of, just because they're available and they feed through my lead presses pretty good. That's it. I don't think I have any other powder kicking around without going outside into the back part of the cellar, which I have to get in through the outside. Sucks. But that's even more of a pit. That's got like the dirt basement type cellar, but it's reasonably dry out there and cool. Never get water out there. So yeah, so out of let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, out of 12 different powders, there's what, 2 made in the USA, 3. It is what it is. What are you gonna do? Go pick up all the US made powder you can find on the shelf and see how much of it you actually use. Okay. This is just a cheap tin cabinet. When I talked to the fire chief about getting the storage permit, which I don't need because I don't exceed any of those levels anyway, but to make my wife happy, I got it. He said just don't store it in anything that's, you know, strong and sealed. And he said a wooden box with a lock on it is more than enough. Said fire retardant file cabinets are fine. They're not going to be able to contain enough pressure to make it really that bad. And he said if your house is that bad where your powder starts self-combusting inside a container, your house is a goner anyway, and they're not going to be inside it. I don't know how true that is, but that's what he told me. Well, that's another while on board video. I'm in the middle of cleaning out all these cabinets too.